Hockey rule that began in 1987 for the WIAA. 3 checking from behind penalties equals a postseason disqualification. 6 teams received that penalty this season, including the Aquinas Holmen Co-op. Last night we showed you the history of what many now call the Jablonski rule. Today, News 8's Kyle Deckelbaum looks into the punishment and how it differs from state to state.
It's a meeting these Avalanche seniors will never forget.
Coach sat us down and told us, I got some bad news to tell you guys.
I got a little emotional.
And then all of a sudden he dropped the bomb and said, yeah, we're out of the playoffs.
The Aquinas Holmen Co-op team disqualified from the playoffs for 3 individuals checking from behind.
There's definitely no place for that in the game, but there definitely needs to be a change in the rule.
It needs to be enforced, but I don't think it should be enforced where it penalizes the team.
But if teams aren't punished, what is the best way to make the game safer?
Look at the Minnesota rule, and that would be our first choice.
The MSHSL aims to penalize individuals, not teams. Players get an immediate ejection for that game and the next on their first penalty. They get a 4-game suspension for their second strike. Third strike, that player is done for the year. If not the Minnesota penalty, Franzini proposes increasing the number from 3 to 5 or 6 for a team playoff disqualification, because he believes a rule that was created to protect the safety of players instead protects teams that are on the verge of getting their third strike.
Officials knew we had 2, and they weren't, no matter what happened, they weren't going to call a check from behind that game. And that means the rule's flawed because they weren't protecting the kids that night. They were looking out and trying to protect us.
The WIAA defends its policy by pointing to soccer. 24 yellow cards over the course of a season means the team is disqualified from the playoffs.
Soccer has red cards and yellow cards as well that accumulate by teams.
Different sports, different paces. A lot more physical in hockey.
The WIAA says it will listen to proposals as to how to modify the rule. Franzini says he's drafting a letter of recommendation, but that won't change anything for this season.
One of our goals was to win the conference. We accomplished that. One of the goals was to be a top 3 seed. We accomplished that. Our next goal was to win the sectional and represent our sectional at state, and that got taken away from us.
At the Omni Center, Kyle Deckelbaum, News 8 Sports.
Thanks, Kyle. The 3 checking from behind penalties for the Avalanche this season came from 3 different players.